Hello, everybody. So, a few quick announcements to make. First of all, um, I apologize for not recording for a couple days. Um, I know I've been slacking off a bit on the recordings lately. I'm sorry about that. Just trying to get things prepared. I'll be leaving next week to go to Canterlot Gardens in Ohio. Um, so I'm getting myself geared up for that. Super excited. My first MLP convention. Second, pretty big announcement. I want to thank Ronnie the Skunk, who I believe is from Germany, for being the first subscriber for my channel, protecting my subscription cherry. I appreciate that. Didn't even hurt. He was very gentle. Um, and then another milestone. Today we start chapter 11, which is the halfway point for us because My Roommate's a Vampire has 22 chapters. So there's that. And this is also where my job trying to read this for you gets a bit harder because we're going to start having more consistent extra voices. So there's that. So I will do them to the best of my ability. Um, I think that's it. So I'd say we can go ahead and jump into this here. All right. Canterlot fell silent. For the first time I felt at peace. Things were calm, and I didn't have to think about anything or answer phone calls. I was in my own world. It was a lazy afternoon, with gloomy weather and cloudy skies, the kind you tried to avoid by staying inside. The weather was dark and strangely appropriate, considering the celebration the next day, and it set the mood for me to brood for a bit. What to do about life, love. How do you put up with everything? Do you take it in stride? Do you just let the big bad world close in on you, and corner you until you've had enough? Until you're at wit's end, about to give up? Until you're fed up with the way things are going? It looked like it was going to rain, and for a while it did. And for that brief hour as droplets of rain began to fall from the heavens, I sat there inside our cozy lived-in apartment, watching the water slide down our window, washing away the dirt and grime. Content with just listening, I rolled onto my back, staring at the ceiling, closing my eyes for a spell. Across from me, lounging on the other couch, was Vinyl, her eyes closed as she listened to her music. Though she wasn't sleeping, she too was also brooding, thinking about things. For once. I could tell by the way her forehead was scrunched up, like she was concentrating. What makes you tick, Final Scratch? What goes on inside that pretty little head of yours? The worst part was that I couldn't even content myself with knowing that I never had a choice. I had a choice, but I just chose not to take it. I could have stayed away from her, never moved in with her, never fallen in love with her. And like all the bad choices in my life, they came back to bite me. Sometimes literally. I heard the sound of hoofsteps. Sitting up, I saw that Vinyl was going out, donning a pair of purple sunglasses exactly like the ones I had broken. Time for work? I yawned. Yeah. Having a good dream? Before this week, my dreams consisted of me, alone on that stage with a single spotlight and a sea of faces in Blue Blood Concert Hall, poised with my cello, eyes closed as I let the music take hold of me. My dream was to play my very own composition, but it seemed that I was doomed to perpetually perform in my little quartet at balls and weddings and galas, playing background music for those nobles who needed a little atmosphere and a drink to gossip and fritter away their money. Now it seemed like I didn't dream at all. When I did, I dreamt of us, together on stage performing a fusion of club and classical music. It was an idea I'd entertained with Vinyl, who had suggested it in the first place. My dreams were quick to turn into nightmares, and I'd see her, her maw stained with red, eyes strung out and bloodshot, her fangs sinking into mine. If you could call it that, I said wryly. Go back to sleep. That sounded too much like Octavia. Go back to sleep, she said softly, before closing the door. An entire evening to myself. No pony around. I stood up, twisting my neck and stretching, smoothing out my disheveled mane. I felt drawn to the case in the far corner of the room. It had been days since I'd touched it. Snapping open the latches, I admired the craftsmanship. Polished, gleaming wood, smooth and heavy. After a bit of tuning, I sat down, my bow poised. The piece I began to play was of my own, the soundtrack of my life. Slow, brooding notes, long and lingering in the air, ominous and foreboding. My hoof faltered. The bow screeched across the strings. My concentration snapped, and I frowned, setting the instrument down. I wasn't thinking straight. Why was I so worried about? What was I so worried about anyway? I wasn't a monster with a constant desire to feed off others with their blood. No, not a monster. Somewhere, in the middle of my billionth time trying to flesh out the notes of my composition, I heard the door open. "Oh, Octi, I'm home!" Indeed, Vinyl was home, levitating a mysterious paper bag. "What's in the bag?" "Close your eyes," she said. I stared. "Just close your eyes, no peeking." I giggled, doing as she asked. "Okay, now look." Vinyl stood before me, dressed in her Nightmare Night costume. A silk cape, black with red lining like mine, was draped over her back. A pair of very real fangs hung from her mouth. Her chest was stained with some fake blood, sticky and dried. Ta-da! I clapped my hooves in applause. "Very, very nice," I said. "Now we can be vampires together." I laughed. "Yes, yes. Every pony will love us. And man, once we start making out..." "What?" "All the stallions will be all over us." "Finally, we are not going to make out." She pouted. "Everybody loves lesbian vampires." I yawned. "What time is it? 1 in the morning?" "I was kind of surprised you were still awake," Bundle said, taking off her costume. "What were you doing?" "Just some music," I said. "I'm going to hit the hay." After a long hot shower, Lionel came out of the bathroom, sweaty and warm. Her mane was damp and coat silky. She tailed herself off, slipping underneath the covers and sliding up next to me. After a few moments of tossing and turning to get comfortable, we found a comfortable position where I held Vinyl, my hoof idly playing with her hair. For a while I struggled to keep my eyes open, my head nodding off before I slumped onto the bed, snoring the night away with her. It was the kind of sleep where you didn't dream. It was almost as if I closed my eyes, staring into the darkness, and opened them a second later, only to find the sun was up. Daybreak, tangled limbs, tangled hair. We shifted, twisting and rolling away from each other. I squealed as she encircled me with her arms. It was impossible to describe the way it felt. Perhaps if your mother actually loved you and gave you hugs, you would understand. It was that indescribable feeling of having some pony touch you, squeeze you, hold you. That feeling of fuzziness and warmth as they reminded you that they were there. "Good morning, princess." I laughed, pushing her away from me. "Don't call me that. I hate those cutesy-wootsy nicknames." Rubbing the sleep out of my eyes, I rolled over. 11 o'clock, my new record. I'm sleeping in later and later. "Nothing wrong with that. Besides, it's nightmare night," she squealed. I grabbed her pillow, smacking her with it. "It's all your fault. I used to wake up at 5. Don't remind me. Mornings were so depressing with you playing that cello of yours." "I was disciplined, organized," I ranted jokingly. "Now I'm a mess." "A very sexy mess." I mustered up the strength and willpower to drag myself out of bed and into the bathroom, hopping into the shower eagerly. Hot water cascaded over my body, my mane wet and loose, falling over my face and neck. I hummed a tune idly as I stood, my eyes shut as I let the warm water soothe me. I heard another voice hum along with me, purring in my ear. "I love when your mane is down." My eyes snapped open. "Vinyl Scratch, what are you doing?" I screeched, glaring at the mare standing in the bathtub next to me. "What, we can't shower together?" I sputtered. "What? No!" No! I began to shoo her away. Out! Out! Aw, you're no fun. Out! Final held an ice pack to her head woozily. You sure know how to buck, Octi. I stuck my tongue out at her. You deserved it. She rolled her eyes, clearly faking her injury. We're leaving in a bit. Where are we going? Ponyville. You know how Canterlot is, Octi. Half the ponies around here are too cheap to hand out treats. If we must. It'll be fun. Now come on, go get dressed. We were quite the sight as we left our apartment. Two ghastly-looking vampires drenched in blood with sunken eyes and canines. We received all kinds of attention as we made our way to the train station. Some gazed upon us with scorn and some with amusement. Vinyl made faces at the ponies passing by, who would have never guessed that her fangs were real. The sun was slowly dimming, as it made its descent into the horizon. At the same time, the moon was rising to take its place. A full moon. I looked up at the sky thoughtfully, breathing in the crisp, fresh air. The wind whipped past my mane as I stuck my head out the window, granting me a gorgeous view of Equestria's countryside. Rolling hills of green grass dotted with flowers in bloom. And there was white-tailed wood of orange and yellow trees, some of the branches starting to lose their leaves as the season approached winter. You've been quiet. I'm thinking. About things, I teased. My mind had been occupied as of late. I was thinking of all sorts of things, thinking about Van Scratch, thinking about us, thinking about vampires, of which ponies I knew who could potentially be one, thinking of a secret world kept hidden from the rest of us normal ponies. A bit for your thoughts? I humped. It'll take a lot more than that to get me to spill. The train came to a gentle halt, and she and I got off. Ponyville was quaint, rather homely in my humble opinion. Old-fashioned, though charmingly rustic. The entire village had been redecorated with cobwebs and toy spiders and other Nightmare Night decorations. On the boarding platform there were 4 other ponies I recognized immediately. Vinyl! Lyra called, waving us over. Vinyl galloped over, pulling me along. Hey guys! Nice costumes! Bonbon and Lyra were each donned sunglasses, fedoras, and tailored black suits. Top appeared to be some sort of devil from Tartarus, complete with horns and a tail, with a wicked-looking coat and shoes. And Derpy hooves, well, I see it's plastic this year, Vinyl remarked. She was wearing plastic bags on top of her head and on her hooves. She clubbed her hooves together with delight, her eyes crossed. Yay! We're on a mission from Celestia, Bonbon intoned. 106 miles to Manhattan. We've got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes, it's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Lyra chimed in. I stared. I don't get it. Vinyl slapped her forehead. Lyra pulled off her shades, her eyes half-lit and suggestive. So are you two, together? I gave Vinyl a peck on the cheek, smiling as I saw Lyra squeal. We made our way to town square, laughing and conversing as Lyra began asking if Vinyl was a good kisser. Ponies around us gasped as they saw DJ Pound3 murmuring amongst themselves. Sup, AJ? Applejack? The element of honesty? She was dressed up as a scarecrow. Okay, good Applejack voice, good Applejack voice. Well, howdy there, Vinyl Scratch. Don't tell me you're moving back, she gasped in mock horror. Twilight, have a fit. Vinyl snickered. Man, she hated it when I blasted my tunes. At the crack of dawn? Applejack added. Who's your friend? Octavia, I said smoothly. Pleased to meet you, Miss Applejack. Applejack gave me a funny look. Oh, shoot, don't call me miss. It makes me feel old. You're hanging around Vinyl now? I nodded, glancing down at the tub of water. And what is this? Don't tell me you never bobbed for apples before, Octi. My mane will get wet, I protested to no avail. I sucked in and closed my eyes, dunking my head into water. I resurfaced, an apple in my mouth. Vinyl suddenly leaned in, taking a bite of the apple as it was in my mouth. I blushed faintly. Lightning crackled and thunder boomed. I gasped in fright, shrinking as I saw black, ominous swirling clouds beginning to loom overhead, casting a dark shadow over Ponyville. Maniacal laughter echoed, striking fear into my heart. A black carriage descended from the heavens, pulled by two fierce-looking bat ponies with glowing yellow eyes and webbed wings and fangs. "It's Nightmare Moon! Every pony run!" Ponies all around us screamed. I felt compelled to scream as well, trying to drag Vinyl to safety. She was grinning. "Woo!" she called. "Vinyl, run!" I hissed. "What for?" "It's Nightmare Moon!" Vinyl laughed, yanking me back as I tried to run. I gasped as I saw the pony inside the carriage fly off, cackling. Her hood flew off, revealing the black creature of the night, clad in blue armor. She gazed upon us with slitted blue eyes, grinning toothily. Horn, wings, all black. "Luna! Luna! Luna!" Every pony chanted around me, stomping. The crowd was deafening. Princess Luna? Foes rushed up to her, chattering and cheering, swarming her. Okay, I'm going to apologize in advance because what will now proceed is a horrible attempt to make Princess Luna sound different than all my other generic voices. "Hello, Ponyville!" Princess Luna bellowed, laughing merrily. "It's Ponyville tradition, Auntie," Vinyl explained. "Come on, let's go meet her." "What? She's a princess." "So? I mean, we can't just trot up to her and say hi." She rolled her eyes. "Luna and I are tight. Don't worry." Vinyl knew Princess Luna personally? "Hey, Luna," Vinyl hollered. She turned to face us. Finished greeting the foes. I shrank under her gaze. "It's just a costume, Octavia, just a costume." "A very interesting costume you have there, Vinyl Scratch," Luna said archaically, frowning slightly as she saw Vinyl's fangs and ears. Did she know? "Thanks." "Charmed," I said nervously, sticking a hoof out. Luna shook it, smiling. I shivered. "So this is the famous Octavia," Luna remarked. "I've heard a lot about you." "You have?" I blurted. "I mean, what kinds of things, Princess?" "Good things, I assure you. And please call me Luna," she said. "Do you like my costume?" "It is certainly authentic." She hadn't been paying attention to me. Instead, she was looking right at Vinyl. I wasn't very good at reading other ponies, but I could see that they were communicating in a very subtle manner. I tried not to make it apparent that I was staring. Princess Luna nodded shortly, only tilting her head slightly. Vinyl returned her nod. "Hey, Octi, why don't you, go get us some drinks?" Vinyl said, still looking at the princess. Something felt off, and I didn't like it, not one bit. Hadn't she come here for the candy? "Of course, dearie," I said in a false manner, trotting away slowly, keeping my ears craned towards them. I heard Luna murmur to Vinyl as they started to walk off. "You would do well to be more cautious, Vinyl Scratch." "It's Nightmare Night, Princess. No pony—" Horse apples, they were too far away. The initial crowd of Ponyville ponies had been rather sparse. After Princess Luna's arrival, it had already begun to thicken. On stage, a group of musicians began to play lively Nightmare Night-themed songs as costumed ponies began to dance. I moved through the crowd, never taking my eye off Vinyl and the princess, bumping into other ponies rudely. "Where are you going?" Blah, 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 blah. "Where are you going?" I mumbled to myself. I could hear them talking rather lowly as we neared the edge of Ponyville. They crossed over a bridge and headed towards the Everfree Forest? Why did they feel compelled to converse such a dreadful place? I was going to get to the bottom of this. Somewhere in the distance, a wolf howled. I gulped, feeling rooted to the spot on the dirt path. I could see Vinyl and Luna in the distance, already dissipating through the thick foliage of the Everfree. It was now or never. My heart raced with each step I took, jumping every so often as I thought I saw something move in the bushes or dart behind me. The fog was thick and I could barely see ahead. Creatures chirped and howled and hissed around me. "Stay on the path. Just stay on the path." Every so often they would turn around. I'd freeze, my heart pounding as I scanned for something. The path eventually ended and we came to a clearing with a statue in the center of Nightmare Moon. I ducked underneath the foliage, peeking out from the leaves, staying back near the trees as I eavesdropped on their conversation. And this Octavia, does she know? Vinyl said nothing for a moment. Yes. Luna sighed, pressing a hoof to her temple. Please don't tell... Please tell me you didn't... One thing led to another, and I might have accidentally bitten her. Anything else you'd like to tell me? Mom and Dad came to visit? Vinyl said sheepishly. We are going to have to deal with her. My heart stopped. Oh, sweet Celestia, what did they mean by that? Deal with me? How are they going to deal with me? Time to go. Time to go. I'd heard enough. I cringed as my hoof snapped a branch. Luna and Vinyl fell silent. It seems we have an uninvited guest, Luna said rather loudly, her voice devoid of any warmth. We do not appreciate prying ears. They knew. Oh. We've been tailed. I backed away slowly, gasping when I felt my rump bump against another pony. I turned around, whimpering as I came face to face with Luna's royal guards. Hello there. Their expression was humorless as one of them bit my cape and dragged me over to Violent Princess Luna. I felt like a fool about to be punished. I grinned sheepishly. Trick or treat? Octavia, Vinyl groaned. Oh, full name. Serious business. I won't tell a soul, I swear, I shrieked. Please, don't hurt me. Luna's eyes flashed red and I watched in horror as her canines began to grow. Princess Luna was a vampire. At this point, I was starting to get a little jaded. Nothing surprised me anymore. I'd probably be easy to count how many ponies I knew who weren't vampires. How far did this go? Where would it end? I wrenched free from her guards, running for my life, not caring that I was venturing deep into the depths of the Everfree Forest. After her! Octi, wait! I heard Vinyl call. Where to hide? Nothing but trees and leaves. A cave! It's a cave, Octavia. Are you insane? Too freaked out to care. Into the cave we go. I always wanted to go spelunking. I darted in, scrambling and laying low as I listened, holding my breath, trying to still the pounding of my heart. The pounding of my heart in my head. Something snarled behind me. That dawning moment of apprehension hit me like a buck to the face as my eyes widened in terror. I seemed to have stumbled into the den of a wolf. Wonderful, just wonderful. Nice doggy, I whimpered. I scrambled back, never taking my eyes off the creature staring back at me. It barked and growled, and in the blink of an eye it lunged at me. I could have done many things as I felt its jaws clamp down around my rear leg, seeing its jagged teeth. Jesus. Okay. Let's try that again. That was ridiculous. Alright. One more caffeine. I scrambled back, never taking my eyes off the creature staring back at me. It barked and growled, and in the blink of an eye it lunged at me. I could have done many things as I felt its jaws clamp down around my rear leg, sinking its jagged teeth deep. I could have screamed, I could have cried. My brain could barely process the pain as I stared at the thing biting me. This was no wolf, it was pony-shaped, with a long coat and matted like fur. Its eyes were glowing yellow and feral, and there was a wet and black nose on its muzzle. I was unable to form words as I stammered, trying to pull my leg from its mouth in vain. Hey, leave her alone! A rough voice shouted. It released my leg and I scrambled away, but not before its claws raked over my side, leaving several bloody gashes. I think I might have broken a rib. Vinyl's horn glowed, doing something. I don't know. I didn't even care anymore. Whatever she was doing, it was making it back off. Looking back, I could see that it was retreating deeper into the cave, turning around and slinking off. Octi. Octi, speak to me. Final cried as she cradled me. I couldn't stop shaking as I tried to speak, feeling paralyzed. My body was going numb. I felt cold. Everything was sliding out of focus. One, two, three final scratches. Oh, hello, Princess Luna. How's your nightmare night going? Oh, the gods, doing a great job there. Keep up the good work. Oh, wow, is that all my blood? She's been bitten. This is no ordinary bite, Luna said gravely. My last thoughts as I passed out were sardonic. As far as I was concerned, I'd donated enough blood for the rest of my life. And there's chapter 11. So, once again, a pretty bad cliffhanger, and I apologize. So yeah, a few screw-ups on my part, but I'm always determined to do this in one take, and I rarely, if ever, reread the entire chapter before doing it, so I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants every time. Um, so that's done and recorded. I hope you guys enjoy it. Like I said, I'm totally looking for comments or even criticisms on the videos. I'm interested in suggestions for new stories. Since we reached the halfway point, I'd think it'd be kind of nice to take like a short break from it, maybe do like a one shot. So I'm definitely open to suggestions for that. I'll look around a little bit also, but I'd like to get an idea, like a recommendation for one. So there's that. Um, I'll obviously, since I still have a couple days to go before I leave for the convention, I'll at least get one or two more videos in. I'll be leaving the 27th, which is Thursday, to head over there. Be staying there 28th, 29th, and 30th, and then heading back on the 1st. So I might get back in time to do a new video the night of the 1st. We'll find out. So until next time.